Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Well, let's see who's up late tonight. Now, Connie Balmer, I hope she's not staying up tonight. I always worry about Connie, but just in case she watches this later, Connie Balmer. Okay. And Sherry Ware, you were the first here tonight. Thank you so much. Nancy Medeiros, I'm sorry about that. Welcome. Sonia Johnson, Lydia Washington, Gail Anita One, Gwendolyn Daniels, Cookies and Cream, Sister and Cece, hello. Who else? Lisa Glaze, Betty Glenn, hello. Novi D, uh, okay. Sharon Jones, okay, and Lucy. Okay. Oh, Susie Q. Hey, Susie Q. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll all the way to the absolute last. And Miss Viv, how are you? Thank you for being here. Big Mama, Hazel Jones. All right. So I had some errands to run today, but that didn't prevent me from being just a little shady. Hi, Kim Coates. It never does. I always have, you know, they say, oh, there's always room for Jello, right? Well, there's always room for a little shady. So, starting with the thumbnail, there's always room for shady. Uh, oh, thank you so much, KDV. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you. Okay. Lambert Charles, hello. Sean, Sharon, Marcia Lawrence Hunter, hello. Shelly L, hi. Ginger Lily, Trevor Rodney. Oh, very cool. Wow, 5 minutes and almost 600 people. Maybe I should do these later ones more often. Um, I'm a night person. I think I'm more creative at night. Claudia Sims, hi. I think I said hi already, didn't I? Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Oh, let me take that away. And one more thing. I almost forget. Let me open up another screen so I can see what you guys are seeing. And okay, that and that. You guys know it's the keening season, right? If you're not aware of what a keening season is, that is when two of the laziest people this side of creation um, get a hankering to actually do some work, especially under the full glare of the media. That is when they decide, oh, I think I'll actually do some work. I'll tell you about that later, though. Let me see here. Oh, all right. Let me open up another screen. Hello, Ann Fu. Thank you so much for being here. H Knight, Alicia Sykes. All right. Thank you so much for being here. All right, little echo there. Got rid of it. Oh wow, who's got 7 months? Nadine Burke, 7 months. Wow, thank you so much for that. Thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex for 7 months. Wow, that is very nice of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. Good thing I opened up another screen. I would have missed that. All right, so here goes. So Harry's looking good there, looking like a Scooby snack. That is People Magazine. The People Magazine, when they're not being shady, they love to announce the next Sussex anything, and they love to run photos of Prince Harry. I think someone over there likes him. So they'll be there, will you? Uplift is an immersive 2 day summit where leaders, icons, and executives have the opportunity to learn how to drive performance and support their organization's most important asset, their people. This isn't just another conference. So, Harry's next big outing is going to be for the Better Up. At least we assume it is. I mean, who knows? This is just what we know about. But as you guys know, Harry is the Chief Impact Officer for Better Up, which is a, how would you describe it? Coaching, self help, etc., etc. Anyway, it is to get the best performance out of your employees by seeing to it that they get the type of coaching and mentorship and such that they can have. And of course, if your employees are happy, then of course the goal is that you can have a more productive and more creative and successful workforce. And if your employees are successful and happy, then it should translate into better, well, let's just say it, better profits. I mean, people first, of course, but you want to make money the right way, right? By treating your people well and giving them a chance to shine, it should help uplift the entire company. As they say, a rising tide lifts every boat. So there you go. Thank you so much, Sheila. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you, Thursday night for me. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that, here's a list of some of the people that are going to be there. I think all of these are the speakers. Well, we recognize Issa Rae and Alex Robish. No, I'm sorry, Alexi Robichaud. I think he was the founder of Better Up. And you know, guys, since Harry joined Better Up, their fortunes have grown exponentially. And you know it has to be a big deal if I use a big word like exponentially, especially if I'm using it in the proper grammatic terms. So, win-win. Oh, yeah, you're right, Big Mama. Walmart does need to send a representative to Better Up. I have heard horror stories about the way they treat their employees. Now, to be fair, we have reached out to Walmart for comment, and I'm just kidding. I haven't talked to anybody, but I have heard some things. So, but you know, they have a really bad reputation, and it would be interesting to find people who, you know, actually are happy to be at Walmart. I've never seen anyone, but of course, we only hear the bad news. So, if you are somehow affiliated with Walmart and you're happy in their employ, please let us know. Actually, we have reached out to, I'm just kidding, we haven't reached out to anybody. I just always wanted to say, um, uh, wait, what did they say? Oh gosh, who was that that reached out to Buckingham Palace and they didn't want to make any comments unless, oh, I think it was 60 Minutes, right? And Good Morning America. And they said, of course, they did ask if they could review our broadcast before it actually airs. And of course, Anderson Cooper said, and you know, that's something we would never, ever, 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 never, ever do. So, but one of these days, I am actually going to mean I have reached out to Walmart or somebody. So, let me see here. Oh, I didn't actually finish looking at the names, did I? Adam. Oh man, that is small. Let me see. Let me see. Is that Adam Grant? Okay, I give up. I can barely see those. Woo boy. Um, never mind. I don't recognize most of those people, but I'm sure that they're very important to the mission. So those are the speakers that you can expect to see there. So it's an eclectic group, and it should be a really good thing. Now, I'm not going to get into the prices, but I hear it is going to be quite hefty to attend this event. But you can actually stream it online, I believe, is the Quiet Vernacular. Ooh, is that another big word? But yeah, you can register so you can watch it live and you can see all the speakers, including Prince Harry and Issa Rae. So I'll get the link for that later, which means I'm hoping somebody else will give it to me. But I'll get the link for that later and share with you guys so you can register so you can, watch it live and of course kind of leave it on in the background. It's probably going to be a long event, but you can cook your dinner or make your lunch or whatever and listen out for Prince Harry, of course. Let me see. Gwendolyn Daniels says, Sean, most of the cashiers look mean and impatient. Well, actually, Gwendolyn, we reached out to Walmart. I'm just kidding. I haven't reached out to anybody. We reached out to some of those angry cashiers. Uh, Hey, B10 pal. One of these days, I swear, I'm going to reach out to some company somewhere. Nobody's happy at Walmart. All the customers do is whine. And you know what, Big Mama? I'm going to tell you though, I hate when I see people doing those pranks inside of the Walmarts. I hate that. I don't like pranks in most situations. They cause me a lot of stress and anxiety. So pranks are not fun for me, and I don't really like to watch them. When I see that there's going to be a prank, I usually tune out of it. And of course, there's that one guy that has is it a TikTok channel where he's constantly pranking people, and I literally just block. I click not interested. I try to block him or whatever. I don't want to see that tomfoolery. Gosh, am I sounding old? I'm not interested in all that tomfoolery. But yeah, I don't like the pranks. Sometimes they're just so cruel and mean spirited that they're just not humorous at that point. Okay, so thank you so much, Lydia Washington, for the link for Better Up, and that is where you guys can go. And oh, speaking of links, I haven't reviewed my emails yet because I have been so busy the past couple days. But I promise you guys, by week's end, I will have all of that straightened out. So everybody who's supposed to get a book will get their books from the people that are donating books. I think I should throw in one myself, although I don't want anybody's address. But just this one time, I think I'm going to do that. It'd be so nice to give away a book of Prince Harry's. So, all right. So, thank you very much, Lydia, and thank you everybody for being here tonight. Wow, I wasn't expecting so many people, but that is very cool. So on Thursday, oh, sorry about that. On Thursday, Better Up announced that the Duke of Sussex will speak at the Coaching and Mental Health Company's up and coming, upcoming Uplift Summit in San Francisco in March. He'll join Issa Rae, David Chang, Robin Arzon, uh, Adam Grant, and more to discuss purpose, performance, and human transformation. Better Up is in a statement. Better Up. Oh, Better Up said. Better Up is in a Better Up said in a statement. The conference is set to be held on March 7th and 8th, and virtual registration is free. So you guys have the virtual registration right there at the top of the chat. So, okay. And actually, you guys, we reached out to Better Up. I'm just kidding. I haven't reached out to them either. I haven't reached out to anyone, to be honest with you. Um, but I just love saying I reached out to someone. Hi, Marshar. Marshar, did you know I reached out to? I'm just kidding. I didn't reach out to nobody. All right, so that is the Better Up, and there it is again. There are the list of people that you could expect to see and more. So that should be pretty exciting. And then here, how about this? Hi, Susie Q. Congratulations to Prince Harry, whose memoir Spare has become the fastest selling nonfiction book of all time. Can you believe that? I mean, of course you can believe it, But let me say that again. Spare has become the fastest selling nonfiction book of all times, the Guinness Book of Records. Prince Harry's memoir Spare sells 3.2 million copies in first week. Of course, that was days ago. I think that was days ago they said that. And over here, books on all four bestsellers lists, Amazon, Indie, where else? New York Times. All right, yeah. So anyway, all four best-selling lists that matter have Spare as number one. So how cool is that? Okay, so there we go. Prince and Princess of Wales neglect to bring something for their keening season. Visited a food bank in Windsor earlier this morning. So that isn't exactly the way it was printed, but I added a little bit to it. Like, okay, I'll show you where I added something. Neglected to bring something for their visit. I'm sorry, for their keening season. Visited a food bank in Windsor. Well, the neglected to bring something. I added that myself. And if you notice, their hands are quite empty. I mean, pretty darn empty. Kate looks like she's a little. You know what? This girl is not going to last this keening season. Now, the first time I've heard of keening season, I heard that from Celibici. Celibici actually said that every year, around this time of year, that Kate is keening. So it's a good jump start for their list of activities, for for their engagements, their list of engagements. And every year, of course, the person with the most engagements is none other than Afro Annie. And then after Afro Annie, it just kind of drops off a cliff. Very little work is done by most of them. And what they count as an engagement, well, I would say they ought to be pretty darn embarrassed by that. Hey, Helene, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. I reached out to their hands. Yes, Helene, we actually reached out to Kensington Palace earlier today. We reached out to we reached out to the Prince and Princess of Wales representatives, and so far they didn't have much to say. They said they'll get back to us. Actually, they asked if they could review the comments that I was planning to make tonight about the keening season. Oh man, yes, but we did reach out to them, and and of course I told them to go to hell because the idea of sharing what I was going to talk about tonight is something I would never do. I mean, who am I? 60 Minutes? No, who am I? The BBC? So, just to be fair, we did reach out to Workshy Will and the Doolittle Duchess for a comment, but anyway, the palace wasn't interested in replying to us. So um, they said no, and I said go to hell, and that was about the end of it. So. Well, one of these days, I am going to reach out to somebody. I promise you. Um, I just love saying that. We reached out to. Oh man.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
something more financial.
If we give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So, you know, I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
Sometimes it's lots more than financial.
well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So, you know,
We'll give you a little dust. How about that? All we can do is give you a little dust. Now, when it comes to reaching out to people, wait, when it comes to reaching out to people, you guys know that William is no stranger to someone reaching out to him. You know that, right?
That's Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
Yeah, so apparently Trenchtown man reached out to the Prince of Wales for comment. Oh man, I am being so silly tonight. I do apologize. But they did reach out to the Prince of Wales for comment, and all they got was a thumbs up. So I guess that will have to suffice for now. But oh man, I'm going to give you guys a complex. Every time you hear someone say, we reached out to the palace for comment, you guys are going to think about Royal Sussex, I promise. Okay, so if you guys have noticed, the way to really make an entrance, hey, Black Queen, if you want to make an entrance, one way you could do that is by covering yourself with crystals. I think they were Swarovski crystals, right? Well, it does make an entrance, and you know, I have no idea who this Doja Cat is, but having seen this entrance to whatever the event was, I tell you what, I won't ever forget her. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Now, it doesn't do a lot of justice like this, but under the proper lighting, the way those red crystals sparkled, it was absolutely beautiful. So, if you are someone who has always been overshadowed by just about anybody, I mean to tell you, a postman emptying a mailbox or a postal box is more interesting than some people, which is hard to believe. Or watching paint dry can be interesting, right? It just depends on who you compare it to. So if you were a bit fragile and insecure and you wanted to make a proper entrance for your coronation, you would have to channel Doja Cat and turn yourself into Doja Charles. As you can see, someone with childbearing hips and droopy shoulders, and of course, that something stank look on their face, who needs to make the proper impression on his coronation day, may want to channel Doja Cat and become Doja Charles. And of course, I won't take credit for this because someone on Twitter actually created this look for Charles. I thought it was absolutely stunning. I mean, I have to tell you, um, upon sight, I am absolutely stunned. I mean, I am stunned. I am speechless having seen Charles in this light, but I think it would make just the proper impact. It's a way for him to bring communities together, right? That is a way for him to bring communities together. That look right there said, well, the other look he played with, of course, was this one right here. But again, without the aid of a good control top pantyhose, I think that would probably be a non-starter. So we'll we'll see how this lands. How about that? We'll just have to see how this lands. But for now, we're just gonna keep an open mind. Oh, what's that? Oh man. Yeah, so we'll keep an open mind. But there were other looks that Charles had considered for his coronation. So far, I'm actually leaning into this Doja Cat. I am seriously leaning into the red crystals. Now, top that with the St. George crown or St. Andrew's crown, whichever crown it is, top it with that crown, and I think you got yourself a pretty dandy look. Let's see here. Marcy Foreman says, bearing the prince and princess of fails, empty-handed, empty thoughts, empty minds, just empty. Yeah, you got that right. Speaking of just empty, hold on, Marcy Foreman. You hang out right there for a second. Since you brought it up, empty. Nothing, if you ask me, is as empty or as shallow as that performance yesterday, where the Princess of Wales was keening to work with her child development, where she sat there and literally mumbled for all of 15, well, combined, I think she probably mumbled for about 5 or 10 minutes, and she didn't have a lot to share. But as per usual, she at least looked the part. Now, someone mentioned in the comments on Twitter, they said you forgot hair extensions. Check. So, but for now, I'm going to go with binder, check, hyena grin, check, touch a black person, check, the Last Supper pose, check. And it was a couple other checks that I neglected to throw in there. But what's that? There's a message from Her Majesty. I'll take that. I'll take it. Wait a second. Okay, give me a second. Message from the Queen, ruler of the UK and complete family of idiots, hereby declare we are Camilla. If this was your idea. Oh, never mind. I can't get it out tonight, but thank you, Sean. I am. I can't get it out, but woo. Okay. Let us continue, shall we? So I need to get back over here. And then of course, you know what? This he has no self-respect. He has such a limited amount of self-respect that I felt as though somebody needs to put him in a straitjacket. And so I got to thinking, what would that hog-head Pierce Morgan look like if somebody had put him in a straitjacket? Well, the only thing to do was to look through the vast archive of photos that I have. And somewhere I said to myself, I know I've seen him in a straitjacket before. I mean, after all, that's what, yeah, you're absolutely right, a stalker. So, Pierce Morgan, and it says there, and you know it must be official if it's in the Mirror, Hoghead lost his effing mind. Pierce Morgan wants showdown with influential Harry and Meghan so they can all move on. Pierce Morgan has never been afraid to share his opinion of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and has been a fierce critic of the couple who stepped back from royal duties in January 2020. So at least they got that right. At least they put the hog head in there. You put your hog head in, you take that hog head out, you put that hog head in. Oh man, you read a Pierce Morgan, and that's what it's all about. So, hey, Mystic Toxin. So, I'm like Jeremy Clarkson. Some nights I lie awake at night, gnashing my teeth, imagining hoghead Pierce Morgan in a straitjacket. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to write an article tomorrow, and I'm going to say how I can't sleep at night because all I could do is sit up and think about that hoghead Pierce Morgan in a straitjacket and being paraded about from town to town all across the United Kingdom while people go or yell suey. So that is what keeps me up at night. Now, um, how modest Princess Diana turned down the chance to be guest editor of Vogue. Unlike Meghan, Royals to read Thursday. Okay, hashtag Royal, whatever. To read Thursday's Eaton Confidential column in full, click on this link. Well, whatever. I'm not going to look at it. But I noticed that he has included a handwritten letter, I guess, turning them down, and that Princess Diana was not going to do a guest editing of Vogue. And I'm just like, why are they going down this path again? It's not like they ever asked Kate with her very curious dimensions. They never asked Kate to guest edit Vogue for obvious reasons. I mean, first and foremost, you ought to dress the part. Now, considering that it was the 1980s and 90s, Princess Diana obviously was a very fashion forward or set trends of fashion the whole time as a member of the royal family. Whereas Kate, aka Yacht Girl Kate, seems to have a more laid back and informal look. And even when she's supposed to be formal, it just doesn't really translate as well. Like, for instance, you have Kate with her reversible pedal pushers on or 3/4 lengths. You don't know whether she's coming or going. You have Kate with that. I don't even know what that is. I'm seeing dress with black belt, black boots, but I'm also seeing the seat covers of a Volkswagen Beetle. So, and then of course there's Kate does Joan Crawford. Kate channeling the late Joan Crawford. So you got three very keenable looks going on here, and even with that, I would have to say, nay, Kate should never guest edit a Vogue magazine. And then, of course, there is this sport jacket or blazer with the buttocks cut out of it. Now, Kate has been known in college to have thrown her bum out the window. I mean, the nearly non-existent bum. There aren't many people from her college days that have not seen her hanging her backside out of the window. As a matter of fact, I believe it was the Daily Mail that first, pardon the pun, exposed this matter. And I guess reminiscing about her old days in uni, she decided that she would have a designer actually make an outfit where she can where she could revisit that particular. Oh man, Sean. Now you know that I know that you know that I know that we have to pretend, after all, that is the Princess of Wales. So if she says it's there, then it's there. That's all. We don't really get a choice in this matter. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that Fox News and Australian television and everybody else is going to insist that we got it wrong, that there is a there there. So And then, of course, that outfit from the left side, don't forget it came with these incredible Jurassic wedges, as you can see. You see there? Now, it's kind of like a cartoon foot where there's as much shoe behind the ankle as it is in front. Well, that is not an optical illusion. There is actually just as much shoe behind her ankle as there is in front of her ankle, kind of like one of those Hanna-Barbera cartoon foots. So I don't know what it is about those shoes that I always think of a good old Hanna-Barbera cartoon. But what I do, for some reason, I just think Hanna-Barbera, Yogi, and anyway, um, so these, and I know what you're thinking, Baron. If she dressed like that in that very 1940s coat dress, how is it she didn't make it to the Vogue magazine? All I could say is, I don't know. Maybe they got taste. I don't know. But yeah, somehow she didn't make it to Vogue. But you know, the deranged. Well, let's see. Let me see here.
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you're really winding me up now, yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
So there you have it. I guess that answers the question. That's probably why she didn't make it to edit Vogue magazine. So, of course, Meghan has, and they have asked Princess Diana in the past, but they never asked Kate. So there's a good reason why, because it would be an affront to the fashion industry to ever ask someone like Kate to edit, or guest edit rather, the Vogue magazine. Oh, you don't like those Jurassic wedge shoes? Anyway, so, and of course, if I had to recall one of the most bizarre fashion moments for Kate, one that should bar her from even having an article written about her in a fashion magazine, let alone guess at it, is that quite offensive homage or nod to the Jolly Green Giant is Kate's country cottage kitchen curtain dress. Now, that right there should exclude you from even being mentioned in a fashion magazine, let alone guest edit. So, there's a good reason. I think they're just jealous because Meghan has, and isn't that thing that Dan Wooten was saying? Royals don't guest edit magazines. Celebrities guest edit magazine. Remember how he got all worked up about that? Royals don't guest edit magazines. Celebrities guest edit magazines. You get me? You get me? I mean, he got so worked up. But the thing is, Royals do guest edit magazines, and I have proof, and I'll share that with you later. Now, of course, one of the more bizarre trends that Kate attached herself to was the very Jessica Tandy couture. As we all know, one of our most beloved actors in Hollywood over the years has been Jessica Tandy. And how sharp is this, that not only does it encapsulate the look of a Jessica Tandy, but you also have Minnie Pearl from the Grand Ole Opry. So it's just something about that dress when you emerge from the shadow. When you emerge from the shadows, It's something about that dress that makes you want to do a mini pearl and go, howdy. So, and I have to tell you guys, listen, if you're wearing something that ugly, it is best to emerge from the shadows. You don't want to come straight on with that look because it may actually irritate somebody's optic nerves. So you want to kind of sneak up. You want to kind of sneak up on them. You don't want to give it to them all at once. You understand what I'm saying? So with that look, it's better to emerge from the shadows. It's too jarring for someone to actually, try to take that in all at once. So just saying, if you have anything that looks remotely like that, remember to emerge from the shadows. And of course, one of the more obvious looks for those very slender or almost non-existent hips is the Wallace Simpson. Now, I'm not preparing her to Wallace Simpson. The magazines has done this for years. Now, notice they never try to compare Megan's look to Wallace Simpson because, Megan is like light years away from that. But Kay Middleton dress was inspired by Wallace Simpson. Now, see, I wouldn't have told nobody that. And don't get me wrong now, Wallace Simpson was kind of sharp back in the day, but we're talking the 1930s and 40s, which is a look that Kate has embraced flawlessly. If anybody's look takes you back to the 1930s and 40s or the turn of the last century, if anybody's dress says, I missed my maiden voyage on the Titanic, is Kate Middleton. There's something about Kate Middleton that says, hey, tell the Titanic to hold up. I'm on my way. So, oh boy. And of course, another reason why Kate should be excluded is because of her embracing the Mao Tae-song look. The Mao Tae-song, nobody else would have the audacity to try to bring back Chairman Mao's look. But Kate Middleton, no problem. Kate Middleton has managed to channel Chairman Mao's tunic and straight leg pants in a way that no one else could. So, it's like one of those trends that you might see in a fashion show, stuff that nobody logically would buy, but that doesn't stop Kate Middleton. It is up front and on full display. So, Chairman Mao lives again. And then, of course, if you want to go back to the early days of exclusion from editing Vogue magazine, there's the famous see-through dress, which fascinated Will. And then, of course, there's that bandage around the shoulder dress. And then that day she channeled Minnie Mouse. So, as I said, you never know what she's going to wear. She kind of sneak up on you. And then, of course, Her Royal Highness, Her Royal Majesty today, the Duchess of Cornwall, also guest edited Country Life. Remember that? Camilla actually edited a magazine herself, which is why it's so ridiculous. And that was back in July of 2022. She managed to get the gig guest editing a magazine. Now, this is one of the unfiltered covers. After they airbrushed and filtered and scrubbed it down, then they kind of softened up her look. But before they brought a team of experts in there, this was the original magazine, and this is how they airbrushed it. So the invisible contract is still alive and kicking. And then, of course, there is the layout in British Vogue of Camilla. If you guys remember, back in June of 2022, Camilla was everywhere. Oh, she was a hot commodity. Now, when they were doing the graphics for the magazine, one of the people in the graphics department, for a little joke, instead of Vogue, they put Morgue. I don't know why, but they just accidentally put Morgue on one of the pages, but it was supposed to be Vogue. Well, at least they got the other one right. But in that particular page, I guess, I don't know, maybe they thought it was the Undertaker's Weekly, but they accidentally put Morgue. So if you look past that, that was just a typo. And I thought it was rather risque because if you notice, she was trying to strike a pose that is infamous in Hollywood, and that, of course, is the Sharon Stone pose. Ugh, 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 ugh. Oh, suddenly I'm starting to feel a bit queasy. And of course, Grover. Now, the Grover outfit, if she would have worn this before that article for Vogue came out, there's no way in the world they would have covered her. With her, you have to call in some favors to get her in the magazine. And when I say call in some favors, you almost have to you almost have to send out some Hell's Angels on motorbikes to coerce somebody to put her in a magazine. Other than that, it's almost unlikely. So Kate Middleton to guest edit Huffington Post. Now look at the date right there, January 15th, 2016. So Kate Middleton actually has done a guest edit of the Huffington Post. But I tell you what, if you notice the date, what time of year is it? January 15th. And what is January for the Cambridges? Keening season. So isn't that ironic that they managed to get Kate to guest edit a magazine at the very height of the Keening season? Every January, right after the new year, remember, that is when Will and Kate are out and about trying to look busy. And then as soon as spring comes, they're nowhere to be found. Oh, they're taking the kids on the spring break. Oh, there's always some excuse why they're not available. They are going to be exhausted. They don't ever work this much. I'm just telling you guys, Will and Kate never work this much, only at the start of the year, and then they drop off. Now, Will, they say he might be with some other family. I'll just leave it at that. And as for Kate, she may go to one of her spa treatments, the ones where she's gone for 30, 60 to 90 days. I'm not going to reach out to anybody about that one, but you could imagine where she is for 30, 60 to 90 days. All she has to do is get through this Keening season, because keeping up this kind of energy is exhausting. She's not used to doing this. No, she's not used to doing this. So she is going to have to take some time off just to recover. So the Queen Consort guest edited Country Life, biggest selling issue of all time. Woo! Oh, did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? Was that headline or was that comment supposed to compete with Meghan with her biggest selling issue of Vogue magazine of all time? Now, I don't know if I were you, but if I was, Camilla, I would be kind of embarrassed for them to brag about the fact that I have managed to sell more Country Life magazine. That I have managed to sell more Country Life magazines than the Duchess of Sussex with her famous issue of Vogue magazine, which was the most they had ever sold. Isn't that something? I didn't know that they were boasting about Camilla selling a lot of those country life magazines. I mean, she looks like something from the country. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised if anybody says country, it's Camilla. All right. All right. Well, you know what, guys? I ain't gonna play a hate. If that's what she's been able to do, then you got to give her credit for it. So again, there's Kate during the Keening season, guest editing, but it wasn't Vogue magazine. They wrote an article in Vogue about the Huffington Post. Okay, so don't get it twisted. They wrote an article in Vogue about the Huffington Post. Okay, so right here, Prince Harry set to speak at lavish 2-day summit designed for business leaders to connect with industry icon, renowned researchers, and world-class coaches, which charge attendees a whopping 1,000K per ticket. To the likes of which I say, why is you all bothering me? Why is you telling me that this is a lavish, that this is lavish, that this is a whopping anything? They got a lot of nerves. I mean, think about this. At least that is private money. That is a private entity that is actually holding this event where Prince Harry is planning to attend. Whereas with the royal family, they're using taxpayers' money. They are actually splashing out taxpayer money for tables where the general public will never eat, with silverware that they'll never use, with food that they probably can't even afford. You know, these are French chefs and everything else is splashing out this food for these events. So um, it's interesting that the Daily Mail would try to make it seem like the Sussexes are just throwing money around everywhere. Well, at the very least, at least the Sussexes, when they show up someplace, they don't show up like Will and Kate.
Words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
Sometimes it does more than financial.
well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important.
So at least they're not just coming up with a smile and a wave. I mean, at least the Sussexes, they do bring stuff with them. They bring food. They supply things that people need. Whereas Will and Kate, they just show up, wringing their hands, and Kate with that head tilted like the RCA dog. So, like right here, it says why the royal family can't keep quiet about their stolen jewels for much longer. Well, that is what people were saying at the time when they had the president of South Africa over. And if you guys remember, they had set up quite, I mean, look at all that gold. The table is literally dripping with gold. Quite an elaborate event. And they're worried about what the Sussexes are doing. Yeah. And what about that? Kate toasting with the president of South Africa. I guess they thought, well, let's nothing says friendship like dining next to the English rose. Wasn't he supposed to sit next to Camilla? I mean, isn't Camilla and Charles, aren't they, you know, taking the place of the queen now? But instead, I guess they thought, well, you know, with him traveling so far, and, you know, sometimes you get that traveler's stomach, maybe we shouldn't put him next to the queen consort. I mean, his stomach may already be a little irregular, so let's put him next to Kate. I'm guessing. And then, of course, it's no better if he would have had to. That's not much better. So, yeah, I guess Kate is a good alternative because being between these two and trying to enjoy your food, and especially if your mind starts wandering about their famous phone call, Yeah, that might ruin your supper. So I guess they did the right thing. Yeah, okay, I get it now. Put them next to Kate. At least you don't have to worry about her like dominating the conversation. And I do mean not worry about it at all. So, all right, good call. I have to agree with the palace on that one. That was a good call. And of course, speaking of lavish, what about this right here? I can guarantee you that uh Harry is not going to show up at the Better Up in a Golden State coach or a fleet of Bentleys, the state Bentley. You know what I was wondering too? I wonder if Charles is going to get a new Bentley. Remember the Queen got that new state Bentley 10 years ago? I wonder when they're going to give Charles a new car. But eventually, Bentley is going to give him one. And of course, how could we ever forget when they took Satchmo on his ride in a one of the carriages in the Royal Collection? I see trees of green. I see white folks too. I got some of that silverware down in my shoe. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. I'm riding in the carriage. Kate squeezed my thigh. Oh man. So when it comes to lavish, nobody could possibly outdo the rest of that family. So they need to just lay off of Harry and Meghan. I can guarantee you, at no point will the Sussexes ride in the carriage and squeeze the president of South Africa's thigh. So, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. His Majesty gave me a bag of cash. I put it in the suitcase with the rest of my stash. Oh man. I put it in the suitcase with the rest of my stash. Ain't no telling how much stuff Charles and Camilla was probably like, oh, just take it. They probably had a suitcase full of stuff by the time he left. I just hope they're not going to accuse him of stealing it. But I guarantee you, Charles and Camilla was just grabbing all kind of the Queen stuff and stuffing it in a suitcase. Okay, so and then of course the king rejects cut price coronation in favor of glorious pomp and pageantry. That is okay, I'm going to translate that for you. In favor of glorious pomp and pageantry. That is like tabloid for in favor of a more expensive and more lavish affair. But they don't want to say that. They just say glorious pomp and pageantry. Who writes this stuff? People who are trying to protect the monarch, I'm sure. And here, oh, as a matter of fact, you guys, you guys are getting out of here early tonight. Well, you should. It's very late. So lastly, Cork County Council Library and Arts Center, Prince Harry's memoir Spare has been crowned the fastest selling nonfiction book in the UK since records began in 1998. Here are a few spare copies that are heading to branches. Request the book online or in your local branch to join the waiting list and reserve a copy. So this is yet another public library that is joining in with the loaning of the Spare. I love this. Every time you turn around, there's another public library, and they're all celebrating the fact that the Spare is available at their branches. And when was the last time you've seen excitement like this at public libraries. Public libraries usually don't get that exciting, but because of Spare, everybody is excited except for, of course, the tabloid media and probably the firm. And with that, you guys, I am done. Let me see. Mary H says, so Baron, you're saying they didn't want to upset the man's stomach looking at Camilla? Well, not just Camilla. I mean, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Don't forget Charles with that incredibly rubbery face that he has and those big sausage fingers. I mean, it's like from bad to worse. Could you imagine being wedged in between them? And then, of course, if you put him right across the table from Mr. Peepers here, that would cause you to have like vertical. I mean, those eyes will give you vertical. So it's really not a way to win. You got Kate with the hands flailing about. You got William with that pensive grimace on his face. I mean, there's just no winning. I mean, who do you put him next? Or what about Afro Annie? Now, if you put him next to Afro Annie, she'll probably say something cruel and make him cry. So where would you put the poor guy? It's not too many places. So, I mean, most people in that family aren't exactly pleasant. I'll just say that. They're not the most pleasant people. Or what about the Wessexes, so that you can hear them go on and on about how Charles neglected to give them their dukedom. So that would be a problem too. So yeah. Oh, okay. I won't say the name, but thank you so much for the Cash App. Greatly appreciated, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. But yes, just got a Cash App. So that's it for today, you guys. Sorry we were on so late, but you know, better messy than late. Or is it better late and not being messy? I don't know. But yeah. But anyway, so once again, the thing we're here to celebrate is Harry with his better up appearance. And of course, as always, we are celebrating this huge success called Spare. Oh, thank you so much, Sharon Davis. Thank you. Oh, Mary H, I'm glad. I'm glad. It's a great way to start or finish a day, right? Nice, good laugh, a good sense of community. And that's what we have here in the Sussex squad is a sense of community. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. And thank you for being here. And thanks to our queens, our queen of everything, and our queen of hearts. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. I did go through and cleared out a bunch of those people that you guys removed from the comments. And I'll probably do that again soon. And yes, I am going to go through my email this weekend. I haven't forgotten about that. So we can get that sorted. Oh, and Sherry has a list. Thank you so much, Sherry. All right. Let me see. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All right, Judy, what is that? Muscasseed. Thank you so much for the super chat, super sticker. Thank you, Katie V, Nadine Burke, 7 months membership, and Sheila Clements McKay. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you, one and all. And yeah, okay, got that. Oh, B10. Oh, yeah, that was from yesterday. Okay, that was from yesterday. Thank you so much. All right. Good night, everybody. Love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love your. Oh, last word of the day. There we go. Good night, everybody. Perfect. Katie V, I tell you, you are a wordsmith. I love it. All right, and cue Ginger Avenger. They gave me a room with the Queen Mother's booze. I had some cocktail glasses. I knew what to do. Oh, man. You know, I'm sure when they were doing the renovation of the Buckingham Palace, I bet you they found all kind of empty whiskey bottles and all kind of vodka bottles all over the place. Especially the apartment that the Queen Mother used. You know, that place was probably combustible. I'm pretty sure that they had to have fire extinguishers because the Queen Mother, um, the stuff she drank, you could either use it to, I guess, ignite the party and bring a little more pleasure to the occasion, or you could use it to fuel the NASA rockets or something like that. So, but yeah, so I hope they didn't put him in the Queen Mother's chambers because oh, that guy could suffer some kind of malady or something. But okay, you guys, thank you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Oh yeah. Oh, from from Princess Margaret's. Yeah, Princess Margaret had a bit of a hankering for booze too. Okay, see you guys.